written by Kushwant Singh, is a short story with autobiographical elements. Before I get started, I would like to say a few lines about Kushwant Singh. Kushwant Singh was born on February 1950 at a place called Atari. He was known for his famous work, Train to Pakistan. He even received Padma Bhushan in 1974, which he returned in protest to India. He received Padma Vibhushan on 2007. He passed away on February 19, 2014. So let's get started. The Portrait of the Lady begins with a short introduction about Kushwant Singh's grandmother. He says, she had always been old and wrinkled for the 20 years that he had known her. It was hard for him to believe whenever people said she had also once been young, pretty, and even had a husband. His grandfather's portrait, as you can see in this picture, hung above a mantelpiece in the drawing room. He wore a big turban and loose-fitting clothes. He did not look the sort of person who would have a wife or children. He looked dazzling. He could have lots and lots of grandchildren. As for his grandmother being young and pretty, that thought was almost a thing for him. So whenever she said about the games she used to play as a child, they would consider it like the apples of profit, she used to tell them. Her physical appearance is described as short, stout, slightly bent, that caused her to rest her hands on her waist for balance. Her face was a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. Although she wasn't pretty, she was beautiful for her presence, devotion, personality, and kindness. The story begins here. Grandmother and Kushwant Singh were very good friends. Kushwant Singh's parents lived and worked in a city that caused them to leave him with his grandmother. She used to take care of him like a mother, like picking him up, getting him ready, bathing him, accompanying him to school, and helping him with his lessons. She used to give him stale chapatis in the morning with a little amount of sugar and butter spread on it. She even carried some of the stale chapatis for the street dogs in the village. The school was attached to a temple, so they went there together. While the priest in the school taught them about alphabets and prayers, she would be reading scriptures in the temple. When they both had finished, they would come back home together. Here, then, they meet the street dogs near the temple. They would be fighting and brawling with each other for the same chapatis that they threw to them. When his parents comfortably settled in the city, they sent for them. That was the turning point of their friendship. Although they shared the same room, grandmother no longer accompanied him to the school because he was studying in an English medium school and he went there in a motor bus. For some days, she used to wake him up and get him ready, and when he comes back, she would ask what the teacher had taught him. Little Kushwant Singh would say English words and little things of Western science, like the Archimedes principle, law of gravity, the world being round, etc. This made her very disturbed. It had two reasons. The first thing was that grandmother was no longer able to help him with his lessons since he was taught in English. The second reason was that she was distressed that there is no teaching about God and scriptures. She did not believe the things that they taught in the school. One day, Kushwant Singh spinning wheels to talk to anyone. Afternoons were the only time to relax for a while. Since there was no street dogs in the city, she took it on feeding the sparrows. Some sparrows would come and perch on her leg. Some on her shoulders, and some even on her head. When Kushwant Singh decided to go abroad for further studies, he was sure that grandmother would be upset since he was going for 5 years. And at her age, no one would say anything. But his grandmother could. She wasn't even sentimental. She did came to the railway station late with no emotions, and she was very busy in the prayers. Her hands were constantly moving and telling something to the bees. Finally, she kissed his forehead, and when he left, he cherished it as a imprint of last physical contact between them. But that wasn't the end. After 5 years, he did marry her. She wasn't even a day older. Everything was normal as usual. Even on the first day of his arrival, her happiest moments were with the sparrows. But a strange thing happened in the evening. In the evening, she called the woman of the neighborhood, got an old drum, and started singing the homecoming of Larry. They did protested her to not take straight, but she didn't listen. The next day, she was taken ill. The doctor said it was a mild fever, but she thought it differently. She said her end was near, and she couldn't waste her time talking to them, as she wanted to only to pray the last chapters of her life. Before they could even suspect anything, a rose came to the dawn. Her hands stopped moving, and her peaceful prayers were on her face, and they knew she was dead. During this cremation, as she lay covered in a red shroud, thousands of sparrows came to the house.